Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GAA Zone podcast, episode 70. I'm here today with Limerick hurling legend Graeme Mulcahy. We'll discuss his career as he wrapped it up. Relatively recently, but let's talk there. So, how are you keeping yourself, Graeme?
Yeah, been good now, Patrick. Yeah, enjoying the downtime now since I retired, and enjoying watching the league as it kind of takes shape.
So, looking back in your career, what are you most proud of from your time with Limerick?
Yeah, like obviously the winning of the All Ireland in 2018 kind of springs to mind straight away. That was obviously to bridge that 45-year gap. To winning to win Lee McCarthy was huge for the county. So I think anyone that was involved that year looks back at that for the length of time I was involved in, and I suppose staying fit and healthy during that 16-year career was something that I look back on with great pride as well. Obviously, staying injury free, playing at an inter-county level isn't easy, so it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. So it was, it's obviously something I look back on with pride as well.
You played a huge role in Limerick's All Ireland ones. What was it like to be part of such a golden era for the county?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Like I suppose being in the middle of it, you don't realise the importance of it, the importance it has for people around the county and around the world. GAA fans, and particular Limerick GAA fans. I think they were on an unbelievable journey since 2018 up to now. The amount of success that Limerick team has brought to the county has been obviously something nobody had experienced previous. So yeah, to be part of that, to be just a small part of that was very enjoyable.
Yeah. And how do you reflect on your journey from making your debut in 2009 to lifting multiple All Ireland titles?
Yeah, look, if 2016-17, if someone had told me I'd win one All Ireland, I'd have bitten their hand off. So to go on and win five in pretty quick succession was obviously a great way to end any career. So I was obviously just delighted to be part of such a wonderful group of players and a wonderful management team and backroom team. It just kind of fell right in terms of timing for me.
And what were the key moments that shaped your career, both as a young player and later as a senior leader?
Yeah, it's a difficult question. There's probably obviously so many moments, probably moments that I wouldn't even look back on as having shaped my career, but they might be more important than any of the moments I pick out. But yeah, I guess looking back, obviously I grew up in a sporting mad club in town in Kilmallock. Um, Great town for hurling. Obviously, we have a huge tradition in hurling. Underage football is very strong, even though we don't carry it through to adult grades. And then the soccer club is extremely strong as well. And then we have the local club rugby down in Bruff, who a lot of our players play with. So I think and we also have a pretty good athletics club. So I guess growing up in that environment would shape any young person's sporting ambitions. I would have played all of those at some level. The athletics and the rugby, I would have dropped at an early age, but I would have continued playing football and soccer up to 18, 19. So I think they were definitely had a huge impact on my career. I would say particularly the soccer and the hurling. Dropped the soccer when I was 18, and then solely focused on the hurling. But I think the skills, not only the technical skills, but even the leadership skills that I got from playing soccer, I think that a lot of those skills are just so easily transferable into your hurling or your football, or vice versa. That I think that's something that's was lost in today's world. I think kids are being kind of pushed into nearly choosing from a younger age. So I was just glad to have that opportunity to play so much sport when I was growing up. Then obviously going into the senior environment within Kilmallock and within Limerick, there was moments I was coming in the early days. There was obviously the strike, which was difficult, but during that period, and in terms of the impact he had on my career, and certainly the discipline he brought to Kilmallock and brought to probably my own game over those couple of years was huge. Then I was involved with so many good people throughout the next number of years, and then obviously John and Paul and Sean O'Donnell came in 2018, and Caroline Curd, and I would say each of those four individually had a massive impact on the latter stages of my intercounty career.
Yeah, and so like, who were the biggest influences on your throughout your hurling career?
I'd say if you ask the majority of people, they'd say their parents, and for good reason, I suppose. Obviously, growing up in such a mad sporting town and playing so much sports, and I have a brother then and two sisters, and like how my parents got the time to take us to everything is difficult to imagine, but I think their enthusiasm for us to pursue sport and just be part of that environment growing up was huge. Similar, like my grandparents, my uncles, my aunts, they would all have been sporting mad as well, so they had a huge impact. And then I suppose from a young age, I remember being involved in an under-14 team as an 11-year-old, and we got to go to the Féile up in Dunley in Antrim, and like while we weren't hugely successful, we didn't get out of our group, but that experience for me was huge in terms of, I suppose, shaping my love for hurling. We had the likes of Paddy Kelly, who played hurling for Limerick back in the 70s, and Bernie Savage, who would have played Limerick prior to that. They were involved in that group, and certainly those days have a huge impact on you as a person growing up. So in the club, there was lots of people like that would have helped shaped my hurling career.
Yeah, and obviously last week there was tragic death of Pat Ryan's brother, former Cork hurler Ray Ryan as well. Like, so, like, you would have played against RS. Like, how important was for like the GAA to come together? From different counties throughout Ireland. Such a tragic death to rally around the Ryan family at that time.
It's massive. Like, it's huge. Like, we would have actually played SARS back into 2014, Munster Club semi-final. He would have been part of that group, and obviously would have won a lot of counties with SARS throughout that period. So what a huge player he was for SARS, and obviously very sad news. And our thoughts go to all his family. But yeah, in terms of what it does for the community and the support and the rallying around, and I think we've all seen instances of it throughout our career, throughout our lives, and I think just having that support system is massive for every village or town, or whether it be a city club. I think it's huge.
Yeah, and like you talk a lot about team spirit. That's something which Limerick was very highly praised for. And what do you think? Made that group of Limerick players so special that you played with?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult question. I think it's obviously multifaceted, but look, everybody there wanted to be successful. Not that anybody playing the game doesn't want to be successful, but there was a real drive. There was a real, I suppose, sense that there was something within the team that we really had to push forward as a unit to get there, and that when we trained extremely hard, and in terms of that competitiveness in the group, you hardly wanted to lose a mini game within training. But it was once the whistle went for the end of training, people kind of flipped the switch, and it was more relaxed, and fellas really enjoyed themselves. And off the field, in the off season, guys enjoyed themselves and tended to nearly enjoy their time together outside of hurling. And I think we just built great unity within the, I suppose, 7 or 8 years together. And you could see that on the field. I think that was very evident.
Yeah, and what were some of the biggest challenges you faced as a player, both on and off the field?
I would say on the field, it was probably adapting to the new tactics that John and Paul and Shawnee and the team would have brought on board, in terms of, I suppose, the defence really starting from the full forward line, working back, and so stopping teams build the ball up the field, which I suppose you see a lot more of in the modern game. And I suppose it was adapting my game and my thinking on the pitch, but also adapting my body physically to be able to go after that defensive, that highly combative, I suppose, approach. Off the pitch, it was probably more the mental preparation and everything that goes with that would have worked on with Caroline Curran, and just managing routines and managing, I suppose, stress outside of hurling and the impact that would have, that you take with you into training or game weeks or even game days. So that was probably two of the biggest areas where I had to work on.
Yeah, and you can't touch that there. Like, what was it like working under John Cayley and the wider Limerick management team?
It was obviously very enjoyable. The level of organisation, I'd be very process and structured person in the way I go about my week. So the structure and the process they brought was obviously something I could really buy into and I really enjoyed. But obviously then there was the not so serious side, where we would have went on nights away or had team building events, not your traditional ones. Maybe it's just some thinking outside the box ones, but the enjoyment piece as well was something that I suppose every player wants, or can easily buy into. The GAA and intercounty is a hobby, so it needs to be enjoyable. And I think that side of things, I think John and his management team got very right over the years, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, and you've had huge success with Kilmallock. How does club hurling compare to inter-county hurling?
Yeah, it's still a very high level, I would say. I think maybe going back maybe 10 or so, maybe a bit more years, I think the gap was a lot closer. I think the gap has got bigger, obviously, I would say, over the last maybe 7-8 years. But I think the club hurling scene in Limerick is very strong. I think particularly, obviously, we've had ourselves, Doon, the Piershig, Patrick Swell over the last, I would say, probably decade, that have nearly been in every semi-final pairing, bar one or two maybe. So I think the four of us have had plenty of experience of playing each other now down through the years and had some unbelievable games. But I think the scene is changing a bit. I think you've got other teams now coming to the fore as well. Some younger teams, your Ballybrowns and your Monaleens, Mungret. So I think the club scene is very strong in Limerick, and please God, it goes from strength to strength, because the stronger that is, ultimately the stronger the inter-county team is. But yeah, we've had a huge success with Kilmallock, and in terms of how that compares to the Limerick success. I think it's on a par in terms of obviously you're winning, you're having success with the guys that you've grown up with all your life, and that's special as well in its own right.
Yeah, and do you think playing club hurling at a high level helped you improve as an inter-county player?
I think so, yeah. Certainly growing up, we won a lot of underage counties, and that obviously transferred into senior counties for Camalloch. Thank God, and obviously that success from underage to senior doesn't always happen. So thank God it happened for us, but it definitely helped me in terms of building that winning mentality. But like other players, obviously they don't get that opportunity to play at senior level for their club, and I suppose at times that might put you on the shop window, I guess, for inter-county managers, which might make it more difficult to get your opportunity to play. But I think once you do get there, you take maybe the likes of Gerard Hegarty, the likes of Colin O'Neill. I think once they, I suppose, get the opportunity to play inter-county hurling, maybe not having such a serious, I suppose, club scene or playing at that senior can actually benefit after the club scene back into inter-county. So I think there's probably ups and downs for it.
Yeah.
Especially as the way the split season has gone now. Like if you were to go from being in an Ireland semi-final, final, and everything that goes with that, and go into your club scene, and then maybe be successful with your club, like and then you're back into county season. There's absolutely no downtime, and that can be difficult for players then to obviously maintain their form.
And what advice would you give to young club players who aspire to play for their county?
Yeah, like I think perseverance is a big one. I think like a lot of players now, you might be as developed as other players coming out of minor. This was back when I was minor. I would have been obviously a very small minor, but that didn't have a big impact on me because I guess strength and conditioning from at 16, 17, 18 wasn't a thing, so it didn't impact me. But I think nowadays you see minors at 18, they're big guys, like they're nearly fully developed, and they're the kind of guys in there that are, I suppose, progressing on to inter-county teams. But it's persevering and knowing that if you do keep at it like that, you might get a chance now when you're 18, 19, 20, but the time will come. It's just keep at it.
Yeah. And since stepping away from inter-county hurling, how have you adjusted to life without the demands of the county game?
Can you say it again? It kind of broke up.
Since stepping away from inter-county hurling, how have you adjusted to life without the demands of the county game? Do you hear me? Since
A couple of obviously finished in a work. Got two small kids at home, so I had to start to turn back to the club scene now again, and just back doing a small bit in the gym, and really looking forward to getting back on the field, maybe in April time at home. So yeah, it's been too bad so far. I think maybe the hardest part was nearly watching the couple of games, a couple of league games so far this season, and not being part of that, not being, I suppose, inside the white lines or inside the dressing room, and having that feeling of not knowing, I suppose, what's going on in the group where you've been part of for the last 16 years. So that's difficult.
Yeah, and do you see yourself maybe staying involved in hurling, be it through coaching or punditry?
Can you say it again, Patrick? It's breaking up quite bad
Uh,
there. I'm not sure it's your.
I know. Uh,
It's
do you see yourself staying involved in hurling, maybe through coaching or punditry?
yeah, like I think I enjoy still playing at the moment, and hopefully get another couple of years playing with the club. But yeah, the coaching route is certainly something I'll look into in the future. It's something that interests me. I obviously love just being part of it, and obviously my number one priority is to play. And I suppose once that day comes where I no longer can, I suppose, play at the level I want to play, then coaching, I suppose, is second best to that, and it's definitely something that I'll look to get involved in.
And last question here. So, what is next for Graeme Mulcahy, both on and off the pitch?
Yeah, on the pitch is getting back into the club scene now again, and getting back on the pitch in April. And obviously, there's a couple of months before we play championship in August, but it's just ramping up slowly until then, and hopefully this season can be a successful season for Kilmallock. And I suppose off the field, yeah, it's a busy at work, and um, busy with my two daughters and with them.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Graeme. We'll wrap it up there, and thanks to anyone who's watched. So.